Hey guys, okay, so if you hear nothing else this episode, I want to remind you that 500 reviews in the iTunes store by December 31st will mean a gigantic surprise for Please Advise listeners in the new year. All you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts, click our show, find our show, PLZ Advise in the store, go to the review section and leave a 5-star review. You don't even have to leave a comment, but if you feel like leaving a comment, please do. Go for it. I also want to let you know that if you're in the LA area on December 30th, I am going to be doing a live show. I've done it a few times before. It's called Story Smash. It's a competitive storytelling event. It's at the Hollywood Improv in the Lab. It's at 7 p.m. The doors are at 6:30. The show is over by 8:15, which means we'll have a minute or two to chat if you guys want to hang out. The general admission is $10. It's really easy to get a ticket, but they do tend to sell out early. So I want to make sure that you guys, my peeps, know to check out the show, grab tickets. It's really fun. I try to do the show as much as possible. This is going to be my third time. I won last time, so maybe we can win again. But yeah, check out that show, Hollywood Improv, The Lab, on December 30th, 2017. The doors are at 6:30, early show. Real early show. Super simple if you have friends or family in town that like to go to bed around 9 o'clock. All right. Hope to see you guys then. Thanks for the reviews in advance and enjoy today's show. Hey guys, it's Malls. Thanks so much for listening to Please Advise. Just a quick message before the show. Don't forget to subscribe in iTunes. It's super helpful for us and super helpful for you. You can also call 323-450-7408 to get your calls on the show. Again, 323-450-7408. Or email askpleaseadvise@gmail.com with your voice notes or emails. Thanks so much. Oh my God, you guys, it's episode 150 of Please Advise. I didn't even know that, Christina. That's crazy. 150. Damn. Okay, so funny story, you guys. I went to Chicago recently to do a meetup for Emotionally Broken Psychos, and we had a really fun time. And then, I don't know, fell asleep on the couch, and I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and my flight was at 9 a.m. So obviously I couldn't go back to bed. So I just searched Tanya Harding in the iTunes store Apple Podcasts. I searched Tanya Harding in Apple Podcasts. That's what it's called now, you guys. Go leave a 5-star review for my show, please. All of them. And if this show gets, remember, 500 reviews by the new year, you get a big surprise. Christina, do you have an update on how many reviews we have? Christina's going to look into that. So anyway, I find a podcast called Hollywood Crime Scene, and it has a whole breakdown of Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan, which obviously obsessed. I can't wait for I, Tanya. It's going to be the movie of the century. So I'm listening to this podcast and I'm like, oh, I should look these girls up. And then I realize, oh, I'm following both of these girls and they follow me. And then this girl Holler at me, who we've mentioned on this podcast before, comes into my bedroom because she was we hung out the night before, and she's like, oh, that's Rachel. And I was like, how do you know, how are you having voice recognition right now? I am barely alive. So anyway, you guys, it's Desi Jedeikin and Rachel Fisher. They are the hosts of Hollywood Crime Scene. They also do other stuff. Welcome to the show, guys. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Do you want to know about this pig I'm holding?
It's really cute.
I was curious.
So when I was in New York for another Emotionally Broken Psychos meetup, the end of the meetup, these two girls pull me aside and they told me that they wanted me to have something. And they were really emotional about it. They were both kind of crying a little bit. And I was like, I don't know if I want it, whatever it is, I can't be responsible for this. And it turns out that it's this therapy pig that one of them stole from a kid she babysits, I think. And I guess it fits perfectly in your neck, and they wanted me to give it to Wags. And I was like, he doesn't appreciate anything or anybody. I don't know if you understand, therapy pig will have his stuffing ripped out of him. But Wags didn't rip his stuffing out, probably because he doesn't have teeth anymore. Instead, he just dragged it through a broken pen. So it's kind of tie-dyed now. But I hold therapy pig when I do this podcast, so Wags has a distraction. Because otherwise they'll be all up on the mic. But has anyone ever done that to you, given you a gift you haven't been prepared for?
I don't think so.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
it's
gonna have to think about that.
It was getting something that it was someone leaving something to you in a will that you're just like, this is this is too much responsibility
Right.
for me
My cat.
to have this.
My cat.
Oh.
Yeah, my
Huh.
actual cat.
Someone left you a cat in a will?
No, it was my mom's cat that I got for my mom as a birthday present 4 years ago. And then a year and a half ago, after I had just gotten home from the AIDS ride. I was exhausted. I had just started dating this new guy that I really, really, really liked. And my mom is not able to take care of the family cat anymore, who's a hairless Sphinx cat. So my mom drives down to LA from San Francisco and she drops this cat off at my house. And I'm like, Mom, you don't understand. A, I gave you this cat. And B, like, I just started dating this new guy. I don't even know if he likes cats.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have any hair. So, like, what am I gonna do? Like, it was like a romantic comedy movie where like the blustered like bachelor guy gets like a kid dropped off at his house and he has to figure out how to raise it. But that cat has been living with me for a year and a half. She's definitely my child. She's the mascot to me and Desi's podcast. You can sometimes occasionally hear her in the background.
I thought you had a orange cat because you showed me a
No.
picture of your cat and it was not hairless. Are you sure it's a hairless cat?
I'm positive she's pink and gray.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds right.
She has no hair.
I want to also say that you guys love the pod.
Thank you.
Last
Thanks.
couple episodes, there was a child screaming in the background, and I don't have a problem with the child screaming in the background. What you need to do is acknowledge it. Like, you need to say on mic.
But we're just used to ignoring children.
If you hear a noise, I mean, because we have ambient shit going on all the time here. But it was just, I was like, is this like a low key sound effect that they're playing in the background? Like, just like, I'm like, it would kind of fit the theme of the podcast,
Right.
like Hollywood crime, sure. But like, if next time, just I know you didn't ask for advice, but
thank you.
podcaster to podcaster,
Yes.
next time maybe just say, acknowledge the child screaming
I
in the
did at the
background.
end. I said we were just recorded this show from a water park.
Oh,
Maybe it was too subtle of an
oh yeah.
acknowledgement.
I probably
We were trying to end the episode as quickly as possible because we had so much ambient noise that
Yeah.
episode. And usually we don't. We never do. It was
Right.
like such a fluke. We were both taken
And we
off
have
guard.
acknowledged the cat before, and people said to us, we didn't even hear the cat, so it was weird when you acknowledged it, but maybe
Right.
this was a bit louder
The
than,
child
than
was,
Romy.
The child screaming is definitely louder than Romy.
So yeah, where is this child? Is this like an adjacent apartment?
It was in the next room with her boyfriend.
That doesn't sound great.
Well, no, I assume there was a babysitting or something,
Yeah,
or
it was
it's his
babysitting.
child.
He was watching a friend's child.
That's
and
nice. That's actually lovely that someone trusts your boyfriend with their child.
Right.
He is the child whisperer and also the cat whisperer. Like, cats love him.
Yeah,
Children love him.
yeah.
And Brendan, my boyfriend, was also screaming, and he instigated it, I think.
Right.
They were playing in the next room, and he instigated it.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
you know
his
what?
fault.
Sometimes you got to get down and dirty and instigate a fight with a
Mhm.
child while your girlfriend's podcasting in the next room. I completely understand.
We do what we can.
So you guys tell all Hollywood crime stories, which is great because I loved Stephen Collins was a really good episode
right,
because
yeah.
I was a
Yeah.
big Seventh Heaven head. I do love a Christian family dramedy. I do love that.
Right.
With,
I
like-
actually never watched it, but I did hate it for a while unseen.
I would watch it if there was nothing else on to like hate watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you showed me a few clips that I was like, oh, I should check this out.
because it's so over the top. It's
Right.
so,
It's the most extra show ever.
It's so extra, like that. You know the episode where like Barry gets caught with a marijuana cigarette.
Yeah,
like
right.
and like the dad like is literally
Barry.
hitting,
You call him Barry.
Isn't his name Barry?
Yeah, Barry Watson is the name of the actor.
Oh,
but
okay,
the
whatever.
guy's the Matt Camden. But how
Okay,
do you
Matt
even know
Camden.
his name is Barry? Like,
Maybe because he was in the teen magazines in the 90s.
Oh, right.
I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
him because he was
Barry.
on some show briefly that was
Barry.
set in LA. Did you guys watch that
Was?
show? Yeah,
No.
he's the star. I just remember him and Stacey Keebler. were
Christina's
in it.
like, oh yeah.
Sorry.
Do you have an update on those iTunes numbers,
Oh
Christina?
yeah.
All right, we're at 357.
Wow.
So you guys are
Wow.
fucking sleeping. We have less than a month to get to 500. Okay, and I'm not giving you your stupid treat if you don't do that. So Get to business, you guys. Just go to
You
Apple
don't even have
Podcasts.
to leave a written review.
No,
You can
just leave
click
some
5
5 stars.
So
And then
easy.
put like a period or something. You know, I think you might have to write something. Just do like a, you know, put a period. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, just do that. All right. So Barry finds has a marijuana cigarette.
Yeah, whatever.
He's literally
Matt
holding
Camden.
it for a friend, right?
I don't remember the whole episode, but I have watched the clip on YouTube so many times because it's so funny. Like basically the dad or somebody finds weed
Yeah.
that belongs to the older brother and they all have like a Camden family powwow in the living room.
Well,
and-
Simon finds it. And then,
Oh,
and then
right.
Simon's busted for the marijuana cigarette.
and it's not his.
Yeah.
And they're all like don't want to rat their older brother out who they adore and love. And poor little Simon, the youngest little blonde kid.
so blonde.
Right.
So like,
he's, like,
where
the
did you
middle
come
kid.
from biologically? Like,
Right.
I never understood his like presence. Him and Ruthie, who I'm like,
Ruthie doesn't look like
I'm like,
either of her
Ruthie
parents.
is Ruthie half black? Like, I remember being like, whose child is this?
Ruthie was she was something. She could have been Jewish, like, but she did not belong to either.
Her
of the
name
two
is, I think,
Camdens.
Mackenzie Rossman in real life. So
She
that's
was
like
not a
somewhere up the right
shiksa.
alley.
Ruthie was definitely not a shiksa.
No.
She was a member of
not
the tribe.
son of a preacher or daughter of
No.
a preacher.
So basically, what happens is, what's the dad's name on the show? Reverend Camden.
Reverend Camden.
Reverend
yeah.
Camden treats finding weed, which by the way, it's a perfectly rolled joint. Like no teenager is rolling a joint
it's
that perfect.
It's so perfectly
It's like so
rolled.
perfectly rolled. It's like a prop cigarette.
And it also has like a yellow rolling paper too. Like that's why I always thought that like all drugs looked like those small little like cooking onions when I was a kid. Like because TV drugs are so perfect looking all the time.
Right.
I thought they were onions. I thought that drugs looked like onions when I was a kid. Anyway, continue.
It was so perfect. And so Reverend Camden loses it. He acts like they found child porn. I mean,
Well, he would be happy about that.
He'd be like,
okay, he acts. Okay, that's bad for Stephen Collins, but they acted like they
It
found
was like
heroin.
Reefer Madness.
It was
but
so
like
Reefer
in the
Madness.
90s.
I mean,
Like,
he
it was-
literally like screams at his son. He's like, and they're like crying. The whole family's crying. Like it's like this huge crisis, you know. And like the dad is
Right.
hitting the door as the son leaves. He's like,
Why?
you get out of this house. You get out of this house. Like it's
So that was like an
over the
intense.
top.
Was that an intense moment for Reverend Camden?
It was a
like
very
Yeah.
special episode.
because he was like normally very low key.
Yes, it was like the moment where they all saw Dad freak out, and
Right.
all the kids were scared.
Is he like a cool youth pastor?
Yes.
Okay.
he's not like that cool though.
but he's like trying.
Yeah, like he takes it like the big thing in town is like the pool hall. And you go and drink your brains out on soda and you play pool.
I see.
So like whenever he needed to have like a night with his kids or
One-on-one.
like a one-on-one or like some sort of confrontation about something like, hey, I noticed your grades are slipping. Like
Right.
it would be like you're there slamming Pepsis, playing pool with dad.
So he's really disappointed in
He's
Matt
so
or
disappointed
Barry.
in
Yeah.
that. He's so disappointed in him. The mom's facial expressions are actually my favorite in that episode because she's just sort of like, like
Catherine Hicks is her name or
Catherine
something.
who had a dramatic turnaround on Stephen Collins' molestation.
Oh, she was amazing on that TMZ clip when they were
Right,
like,
so
hey,
good.
are you going to be doing like a Seventh Heaven reboot? She's like, well, only if it opens up on Reverend Camden's casket.
Right,
And
right.
I was like, damn.
But
I was
then
like-
she backtracked a bit because I feel
Oh,
like
she
she maybe
did.
needs money or something.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'll tell you honestly. I bought like 4 seasons of that show before it got pulled from iTunes because I was like, look, all
this
right.
is the last time I'll be able
I
to
was
get
like,
my
this
hands on it.
is
So
because
then we'll have to have a viewing party.
believe it or not, I was not the coolest teen. My mom had me at age 21. So, like, everything in her life was about keeping me from not getting like, it was just about me
Right.
not being pregnant. So, I would go to the library after school every day. But on Mondays, I needed to be picked up at 7:30 on the dot because we would drop off my best friend, Jen. And then Jen and I would go home and watch Seventh Heaven on our own TVs. And call each other during every commercial break and
Oh
be
my
like,
God.
so let's download like on this. Like, what do you think about like Matt with the cigarette or whatever?
Right.
Like, it would be like a whole thing. I fucking loved Seventh Heaven.
Okay, I need to watch.
You do need to watch it because it's so over the top.
My mom said to me, like, because I asked her, I was like, Mom, like, why didn't you tell me I was a loser? Like, I was like, why did you just like let your grown ass child? Like, I was like, I was like 15. Like, I was too old to be doing this. I was like, she's like, I don't know. I just think that you liked like the family element of it. And then I was like, that's actually really sad. Like, that's really sad that like I like sought out some sort of like family normalcy, like via seventh heaven, like, and that you allowed it. Like at that point, like, I mean, I was already in therapy, but like at that point, like, so you send me away or something for a couple months. Like if that's where I'm like getting my fix for family time.
But I feel like a lot of kids looked for family time on TV.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a better choice than things that I did.
I liked Step by Step because it was a really kind of sleazy family. Like they were just really tacky.
Oh.
Yes, they were. They were a tacky family.
They were a tacky family. And the mom was really hot, Suzanne Summers.
Oh, who was that? Patrick Duffy and Suzanne
Patrick Duffy and
Summers.
Suzanne. Well, I like Step by Step because I'm like, those parents, like that's my relationship goals. Like they still fuck. Like they're still, but I guess they were more newly married.
Yeah.
But I liked like that.
And they had kids, like step kids that were
They had
blend. So it was like
kids.
Brady Bunch.
It was like a blended family, and the kids weren't perfect little angels.
Right.
So it was funnier.
Yeah. So
You know?
tomorrow we have Allah Khaled coming on, and he is DJ Khaled's brother, but also he co-hosts a podcast called Worst Ever Podcast that Stephen Ray Morris, who does my Lifetime podcast, he also engineers this other podcast called Worst Ever Podcast, and his co-host is Al from Step by Step.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, and by the way, guess who their first guest was?
Who?
My sister Jodie Sweetin.
What?
Yeah, my biological sister. It was like crazy.
Al Lambert
Yeah.
on Step by Step, aka Christine Lakin, the actress.
Yeah, she was the hottest one.
She was my favorite on that show.
Yes.
By the way, and she's also low key like a queer icon.
Well, because Al was kind of butch.
She was kind of butch. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, as a queer person, to Al Lambert, she's a queer icon to me.
I hope she hears that a lot.
I hope she does too.
So she
I
was
mean-
like the Joe.
So there was
yes,
like
yes, she was the Joe.
wait,
Facts of Life.
Facts of Life.
Oh, I was like from Little Women because like she was kind of
True.
dyke.
Yeah. Wait a second. Was Facts of Life like a reboot of Little Women?
Holy shit!
Sorry.
I need to like
What?
write my thesis.
You need to go on Reddit right now.
Look, I can make up
Dude,
shit.
What? Oh my god, that's amazing.
Blair
Yeah,
is
no.
Amy.
So, but like, here's the thing: because there were other sisters on the show that were supposed to be the hot. Oh, why did you just throw up on me a little bit? That's okay.
Well, Karen was supposed to be the hot one on the show.
Karen, yeah, and then Stacey Keebler's
Stacey-
character.
I love
had,
Stacey
like,
Keebler.
Do you know she's a prosecuting attorney now?
Awesome.
Yeah, she's
I
like,
mean, just because that's so the role I pictured Dana
yeah.
taking as an adult. Like that just
None
makes
of
so
them
much
speak to
sense.
her.
Why? Is
Dana,
she not a good person?
Dana like iced them all out after Step by Step, and then she was like, and then Christine Lakin said on the podcast, because Christine Lakin's like open about it. She's like, she doesn't talk to any of us. She pretends we're all dead, and like
no,
they had her on like a morning show in some like random town or whatever, doing like plugging some like yoga class or something she's teaching. Like it was something random. And they showed to introduce her like a package, and some of it included like obviously the scenes from Step by Step, like as America would know her from. Like I don't know how she thinks America knows her. But then it cuts to her, and they're like, "Oh, like fun memories, right?" And she's like, "I don't know what that was."
What?
Like she pulled like a Mariah Carey on her entire on like 8 years of her own
Did
life.
they try being like, well, what about my two dads?
No,
No, that's
She
not
on
Stacey
that?
Keebler.
that was
That's-
Stacey Keebler.
That's Stacey Keach, right?
Oh.
No. Wait, Stacey
That's
something.
Stacey Keebler.
She was
Are
on
you
my
sure?
two dads.
No,
Yeah.
Stacey Keach is the man.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, but I don't think Keebler is
But
correct.
she was on another
Is it?
show in the 80s
I don't know,
that was
maybe I'm
like
wrong.
My Two Dads with Greg Evigan.
It was the blonde that was on
Sorry.
My Two Dads. She had money. That's why like
I always hated her when I was a child.
oh Stacey Keenan. Stacey
Keenan, right.
Keenan, yeah.
Keebler is like a dancing with the
Keebler is
Stars
the one who
person,
dated
right?
George Clooney when he wasn't ever going to get married. But then
Oh,
when he
right.
got a smart
Oh,
woman.
right.
he married
Right.
them.
Okay, so we're talking about Stacey Keenan, who
Right.
played Dana.
And she was on My Two
Foster.
Dads with Paul, what's his face from Mad About You.
Yes.
And Greg Evigan.
yeah.
Which I watched.
No, Stacey Keenan played the nerdy sister. That was Suzanne Summers'
Yeah,
nerdy.
Dana Foster, right? Wasn't
The
that her name?
Fosters were. Oh yeah, Al
Fosters?
Lambert. Yeah, the
Lambert
Lamberts
was the
and the
Duffys,
Fosters.
and they were like the crude bunch, and then the Fosters were more nerdy and put together, except for Karen was like hot.
I don't know why I worry about writing ethnic last names into scripts when I'm literally, it's like Foster and Lambert. Like, that's like, you didn't even have to try. Like, also Foster's like a little too on the nose for like a blended family. Like, it's like,
Right.
do you know what I mean? It's like they basically are foster kids. Like, you two are all fucking all the time. Like, these randoms are going into the system, or they're going to just be hanging out with these other. Now, Cody, the cousin, like, he had a drug problem, had to leave the show.
I know all about Cody.
Tell me.
Who's the actor?
Well, Cody, aka the Code Man on the show. What's his name again? I forget the actor's
I'll look
name.
it up. Don't worry.
Wait a second. I'm going to hate the name Cody for humans.
You would hate this character so much.
Okay, good.
He was like the
He's
surfer
like,
guy. Yeah, he was like,
Oh,
whoa,
God, no,
Dana
no.
Burger. Like,
Oh, God.
and he, like, Dana was you.
Sasha
on the show,
Mitchell.
And Sasha Mitchell.
Dude, I'm getting
Oh,
divorced.
Sasha Mitchell. Okay, I know who he
That's
is.
the name of his. The only news story that comes up about him is, dude, I'm getting divorced.
But didn't
Because he beat
like,
his wife or something,
Yeah.
right? I saw him in that movie Spike of Bensonhurst. I'm sorry, it's a really old movie, but I thought he was so hot, so that's where I know him from. But I don't like.
He was cute. I mean, I thought he was cute when I was like whatever watching
Right,
that
I
show.
was, yeah.
He was like the cute cousin
He is
of the
cute.
family.
But I don't
then
like that.
there was,
I don't
like,
like
a
that surfer
rumor-
look or attitude.
Yeah, he was like the dumb cousin.
Yeah, he was a
Right.
dumb cousin.
And I'm
he
like-
played dumb people a lot.
But it's also like, where is this surfer coming in Wisconsin?
oh, they were in Wisconsin.
Yes, it took place in Port Washington, Wisconsin.
well, they have water there.
They don't have a beach there.
They have lakes.
You can surf.
There's like a whole there's a whole beach. You can surf on a lake.
It was
Windsurf.
I mean, he never specified that he loved to surf. Like,
He just had that
he
attitude.
could be
had
paddleboarding.
that
He was like
attitude.
hang 10.
I mean, they wrote in this TMZ piece, Sasha Mitchell, whose character, now that we think about it, was essentially a Keanu Reeves ripoff.
Oh.
So
it
like,
really was.
He was,
first
like,
of all,
villain setting
TMZ,
it.
like,
Yeah.
no one asked for your opinion. Like, this is a news story. No one's
yeah,
like,
let's just hear the facts. The who, what, what. We don't want some editorializing.
let me show you the picture of him though. He looks so dirty.
Oh, he's skanky now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was then too. I really
Was he?
wonder what he was like into though. Like, can you imagine those people? I mean, they make 20 grand a week or something. It's a brand new, it's a new show. It's a hit show. You're getting 20 grand a week for 20 weeks of the year. It's a lot of fucking money especially for like the untrained random. Oh, he actually looks hot in this picture, kind of. I don't know.
I
Oh
need
no,
to see
he
what he
doesn't look
looks like
hot.
now.
He doesn't look hot.
Oh, no,
He
no,
looks-
no.
He still has nice teeth.
They
Oh.
are bright.
Yeah, this family is trashy as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Wait, who's that little nerd kid?
Oh, he's so cute. Mark
He's the
Foster.
little nerd kid.
He's the little nerd one, and he was.
Is he
in-
like the cousin Oliver? No.
No, because he was always on the show. But that little actor, I don't know his real name, but he was in so many movies. Like, he was in the Beethoven movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was just like your token little nerd kid.
right.
So Suzanne Summers' kids were the ones that were like kind of like protected and odd. Do you know what I mean? Was the brunette? So she had
Wait, can you show me the lesbian icon?
dead center Al.
Oh.
Al.
What's
Okay.
missing from Al is her signature backwards cap. Like, she always wore a baseball cap
see.
backwards.
Or like an
So she was a tomboy.
or like an army surplus jacket.
She's on my show with my sister called Hollywood Darlings. I don't know if you're
Oh.
familiar with this.
I'm not.
It's on the Pop Network, which you probably have never heard of.
No.
I'm gonna read you some Sasha Mitchell facts in a little bit. He has a bunch on his IMDb. I love facts
Me
about
too.
people. Trivia, forget it. This is actually good because I'm gonna be reuniting with a friend to do a trivia night soon. So I'm
Ooh.
hoping it's a very Sasha Mitchell heavy episode or at night at the trivia club. At the trivia
I
club.
feel like it's definitely possible.
Going to the trivia club with my friends, you guys. But I forgot what I was going to say. But listen, this is some Sasha Mitchell tea. He was a Calvin Klein blue jeans model who studied acting at the National Improvisational Theater in 1988. He has children, Paulina Justine, who was born in 88, Caroline, Stacy, and Ethan. He likes hot and spicy Chinese food with big red peppers and ice cream.
That is so specific.
With big red peppers?
Big red peppers and ice cream. He has a giant tattoo of a dragon on his left shoulder.
Of course he does.
Sasha became interested in lifting weights right before making the kickboxing movies in the early 90s. Like, as if we know what
I
those
remember
are.
that he
I
was in
remember those.
kickboxing.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I remember that's what he was sort of famous
He was
for.
famous
before he was
for
an
being
actor.
like a martial artist.
Okay. He's the
Look.
younger brother of Marissa Mitchell, which means nothing to me.
I have
He
no
lives in
idea.
California's San Fernando Valley. I love how they write that like that's
San
like
Fernando Valley.
he lives in California's
Ooh, la,
own
la.
San Fernando Valley. You know, like Corey Haim's last stop before death. He is an avid motorcycle enthusiast, and he
right.
enjoys building and collecting Harley Davidsons. Sorry, I can't read. While growing up in LA, he frequently spent his summers in New York City. Fascinating. He's of Russian Jewish descent.
Ooh.
Hey, Sasha.
Oh, this is great too. He played Patrick Duffy's nephew in both Dallas and Step by Step.
He was on
What?
Dallas?
Yeah, in
on Dallas?
1978 and then again in 1991. So, like, do you think Patrick Duffy was like, "Hey, look, I have an idea for casting my nephew. It could be like a fun shout out. I mean, it
Right.
is me and Suzanne reuniting."
I'm trying to think of the
Right.
nephew because a few years ago I started watching Dallas from the beginning. Sorry. It's such a good show.
My mom was really into that show, so I really
It's
want to
amazing.
get into it.
I'll watch it again.
Okay,
We can
let's
do
watch it
It's
together.
so good. I'm
Um,
trying to think of the nephew because
what's
he
the
didn't
name of like
play.
the boss bitch on that show again?
Sue Ellen or Pamela.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Never seen
It's
it.
a really good.
Which
show.
one's the one that has Dynasty is what I'm
you're thinking of
of.
Alexis Carrington.
Yes, that's what
I
I'm
started
thinking
watching that
of.
one too. I only watched the first 2 seasons, but the season where the son is gay is an amazing season. I
Just
think it
the
might
one
be
season he's
2.
gay.
And that's where she comes. Wait, no, that's like the end of season 1. Alexis comes in and she's in court and she's wearing that hat. But they don't
Yes.
reveal her until the beginning of season 2 because
Oh,
they didn't cast her yet. And the show was so boring the first season.
That's how Melrose Place is. The first season,
Right,
you have
until
to
they
slog
get,
through it until Amanda comes on.
right.
I don't like Melrose Place. Never
What?
really. I never connected to it spiritually.
Oh, it's my
90210 was-
spiritual show.
Yeah, 90210 was like that for me. But it was just like, to me, they were all a little too old for their behavior. Felt like the really obvious solution was to just move out of Melrose Place. Like,
Right.
I like high school, like, because you have to go to
Also,
it.
it was never believable that Amanda Woodward lived in that apartment building.
Because it was not
She would
nice
have like a
enough.
nice house or like a condo
Right.
in like
Was
Century
she super
City.
rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, she worked
Oh.
for. She was like the head.
But
of
she
the
did
ad
buy
agency.
the. I
She
think she
did
bought
buy-
the
she
building.
bought the
but it was like,
building.
why would you live there?
because she
Yeah.
was petty
Because she was in love with Billy.
and she was in love with Billy.
But yeah, no, you're right. You hire an apartment manager for
No,
that.
it
She's
was
just not being
unbelievable.
smart.
But yeah, but I did
But
like
anyway.
Kimberly.
This was a pre Airbnb world. I mean, that would be.
That's
There's a
true.
lot of easies. Like if I can find the easy solution in 5 seconds as to why this show shouldn't exist, then I can't get behind it.
I stand by Melrose Place 100%. It's my favorite soap.
Was it rent controlled? Like, why did they all live there?
It was a really cute building.
Okay.
Yeah, it had a nice courtyard.
It
and
had a really
pool.
nice, it had a pool, and because they all loved drama, all
Yeah.
of them loved drama.
Yeah. Singles I'll make an exception for when I'm like, just stop living in this building, you guys. Like, this is a really destructive building for all of you.
Right.
But, it's Seattle. Rent is crazy. It's the 90s.
Right.
Anyway, do you guys have 3 reasons why you're qualified to give advice by any chance?
Yes.
I
Okay.
do.
One,
You think, while Rachel gives
Okay.
You think.
I'm thinking.
I've been to 2 different rehabs.
Okay.
I've been sober for 11 years.
Congratulations.
Thanks. But I've also made every mistake a human being can make in their life.
Like, what's the worst one?
The worst mistake I ever made. Let me go through my Rolodex of shitty things I've done.
Okay.
Huge, colossal mistakes I've made.
Do you
And
need help?
do I need help? Desi wants to help. She's like, I got a list out here of
I have
all
a
the
few
things.
I know of.
Of all Desi knows a lot of hilarious shenanigans from my past. And also because I have been to lots of therapy and I think I'm a very empathetic person.
Yeah.
And I feel like a piece of shit saying that I'm an empathetic person because maybe that sounds really like,
No, it can be embarrassing to say that, but I know what you mean.
but I am an empathetic person.
When I have to really look at myself in the mirror, I can say the same thing. Miles, you're an empathetic person. But every time I say it, I'm like, this is embarrassing. I
Yeah.
totally feel you on that.
So
Okay.
that's it.
Those
Those
are
are
your
my
3
3
Those are your-
reasons.
I have to have 3.
Yeah. You have
Um,
3.
Okay. I'm an abused child, so I feel like coming from a perspective. But I'm not a victim. Is that too?
Okay, yeah.
So I feel like I have like a little bit of a hardcore take when people kind of get whiny about shit.
Oh yeah,
Which can either be
lean in
needed
on
or I feel like I can speak to it because I'm like, fuck you. I also don't. Well, because that's like, well, don't whine about that because did your dad molest you? Sorry. But I'm serious.
You're very cut and dry.
I'm very cut and dry. I'm kind of blunt. So I don't feel like I have to sugarcoat things. I'll just tell people what I think. And I think I am pretty reasonable.
You're very
in general.
reasonable.
You're totally reasonable. Okay, you guys, thanks for those 3 reasons.
Sure.
Christina, do we have a bunch of calls for these fine people? Let's do them.
Hey, Malls, Christina, and guests. This is Ariel. I am 31 years old, and I live in a suburb outside of New York City. And I've called in before. Anyway, Malls, you had mentioned that you've been having some spending problems recently. And I have as well. I mean, I always kind of have, but they've just been really, really bad lately. I'm a stay-at-home mom right now. Well, I kind of do some freelance work in advertising, but for the most part, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I'm finding that I am literally addicted to online shopping. Like when I think of anything I remotely, quote unquote, need, I get so excited and it's like a little thrill to go online and find, the best thing or like, for example, like an iPhone case. Something will pop in my head and I'm like, oh, I need a new iPhone case. And I'll go on Amazon and like search and it'll be like, $8, $9. It's not a big thing, but it'll just like make me feel better when I buy it. And it's just sad. And like, I have so many clothes and mind you, they're like cheap clothes. They're not like awesome clothes. They're like, Gap and like, whatever, ASOS, but I don't need these clothes, but I buy them and like I buy all these little toys for my daughter and I hate how I'm just such a consumer and I hate that like advertising and marketing works really well on me. Like I am the person that all MLM salespeople should contact because I will buy it from you. Like you will convince me to buy anything. Like I can't even turn on HSN or QVC, not that I would anyway, because I'm not like an 80-year-old lady, but I am so gullible. I will literally buy like the ugly shit that they're trying to sell because I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that I might need that. And it's kind of messed up. And I feel like it probably stems from like insecurity or like maybe I'm a little bored. I know I'm bored often. And the more bored I am, the more this happens. And, I just... like maybe, I have like 10 more pounds of baby weight to lose. Maybe I feel like buying clothes gives me more confidence and really I should just be like losing weight or I don't know. And we don't really have money issues. My husband's like kind of a trust fund guy from old Boston money, which is nice, but it doesn't mean that we are like, rolling in it. We're young 30s and it allows me to be home with my daughter, but it doesn't mean I should be wasting money on like cluttering my home with stupid stuff. So anyway, I know that you've mentioned you had a problem too. Maybe Christina and your guests can knock some sense into us and that's all. All right. Thanks, Malls.
Well, I should say that we have a ModCloth code. It's either Malls or Malls 15. So while you're doing that online shopping, you might want to head over to ModCloth and enter our code. Also, just go to naturebox.com/please advise. They don't sponsor us, but just go to that page and hit refresh about 3,000 times. Hopefully they will receive the message. If not, I will continue to say fuck you, NatureBox. And then 3, I'm jealous of you because I want a rich husband and to do nothing all day. All right, guys, what do you think?
You don't need new stuff. You need to find you need to find the reason why you hate yourself on the inside.
Stop trying to fill the hole, girl.
You're filling the hole. Every
Right.
addiction is essentially about the same thing. It's that You are searching for an outside force to fill something that is broken within inside you. That's the cold, ugly truth. Obviously, not every addiction manifests in the same way, but that's the root of all addiction.
Yeah.
I just don't relate to buying cheap crap. Like, I'd rather save up and buy like an expensive, nice thing, or do you know what I mean? So I don't
But it's
understand.
it's not
no,
about
it's
what
definitely
she's
not
buying.
about that. And I get the thrill
No, but like
of getting
fast
something.
fashion's embarrassing. Like, let's just say that. Like,
I feel like if we could shame her about the fashion,
I actually
it
would
could
like to
help
fashion shame
her.
her. I'd like to spend some
because
time
I feel
with
like
that.
don't get that cheap shit. Like,
I'm sorry, like it's not cool that you have 60 sweatshirts from the Gap. Like no one's impressed.
Right.
Like if you're gonna try and fill the hole, at least try and do it with impressive things.
Get a Vetmont
Right.
sweatshirt for
Yeah.
$600.
Yes, and that is something I can get behind.
Right.
It's the cheap crap that is driving me crazy because I feel like, how is that even making you feel better?
You know what makes me feel bad is that this woman's married to like a rich guy and she has like a Coach Purse personality, and I just feel like I'm a very special person and I should have someone, because I don't have a Coach Purse personality, and I feel like I should have someone who wants me to spend their money, and she
I would
does
buy
and I
better
don't.
stuff.
Yeah, and I would buy better stuff,
Right.
and so I think that this lady should get divorced and give me her husband.
You can get divorced. That's an option, but I also think that you should find a way to volunteer somewhere, like with people who are less fortunate than you, because that's going to make you happy. Buying all this crap and feeling sorry for yourself that you're buying all this crap, you're not fulfilled emotionally or spiritually. You need to be going out there actually doing some real service work in the world instead of spending all day online shopping or thinking about ways you can buy cheap crap online. Go volunteer somewhere.
Also, I don't remember saying I have an addiction to buying stuff. I don't remember saying that, because I kind of like, I have rules in place. Like, I had to buy a bunch of shit when I redid the house. That was like the most spending I've done in a really long time. Because I had to buy like an oven. Like, I literally logged into eBay the other day and I was like, dude, I bought a fucking oven on eBay. And like, yeah, I did. I bought it.
My recommendation to her would be to start hating the clutter and become obsessed with literally decluttering and getting your house sort of more like that sort of drives me, not purchasing a lot of cheap crap, because I like my house to be very uncluttered. And
you should, hire a task rabbit to go through shit with you if you don't
kind of just get obsessed with having that peace, because I think it will help you. Like you said, you're a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
It's like having that stress, which I think clutter is stressful, to have it piled up around you. It makes you feel overwhelmed and depressed.
See, I like it.
Some people
feel
do
really
kind of like the comfort, but you could have.
I'm looking
you could
at
have a lot of
computers
stuff
right now.
You could have a lot of stuff and have it well organized. I just feel like maybe this isn't the best because I'm not like, an addiction expert, but it's like maybe find like a more healthy addiction, like get really into your house, like making it
I was
clear.
gonna say, at least it's not food. That would bum me out. I would rather.
Well, she said she's trying to lose weight too, and I feel like when you're if she's focusing on, it's like, well, maybe start buying fitness equipment or
no,
like,
okay,
do
no,
you know what I
I
mean?
was
Like,
just gonna say
she needs to get involved with the charity run and start training for the charity run and raising money for other people, so you're not thinking about yourself all the goddamn time. You spend all your time thinking about yourself and what's wrong with you. You need to be going out into the world and helping other people that are less privileged. And if you're trying to lose weight, win-win situation, sign up for some charity run.
Right. You know that's gonna wind up with her
train.
having a Fabletics subscription though, and like getting new sneakers.
No,
and,
she
like,
needs to hit the pavement.
Lululemon.
Yeah,
she needs to
she's
hit
gonna
the pavement.
But
Lululemon
hey,
her
at least
ass
she's
off.
elevating past like
Right.
Gap leisure wear.
I'm really sad about
I'm
the
sure
Gap.
she's
I'm
bought
so
a
sad
lot
the
of
Gap.
Gap
leisure
is
wear.
not good. Also, how do you order Gap stuff online?
I
It
didn't
must
know-
all look like shit when you get it. Like, there's just no way that's working.
I mean, some people like the Gap.
I don't think the Gap is necessarily bad, but you want to try that shit
And
on.
this
'cause
turned
it's
into like
cheaply
a
cut.
conversation on the merits about the Gap. But like, look, here's the thing: is that like if you buy something that was made by children, like you've got a problem in your life, man, and like you definitely need to do charity work. That's exactly right. And also, kids don't need toys. Like, I was an only child, and I had with a single mom. Like, I would go out in the yard and play with a fucking stick. Like, and I liked it. I loved sticks. Like, they were my friends. Like, your kids don't need toys. Like, tell them to go outside and go make something with leaves and berries and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I remember distinctly sitting on the curb and staring at the pavement. Well, my
I used
dad
to
beat
count. I used to count small rocks in the
I
pavement.
do remember like literally sitting there like being bored, and my mom
Yeah.
did absolutely nothing. It's one of the small benefits of
No.
being neglected.
I would fall
learned how to
asleep in
entertain
fields.
myself.
No one would know where I was, and I would just be asleep in a field. And I'd wake up like I don't know how I didn't have ticks all over me or anything. Like,
You're like Nell.
yeah, I was like Nell a little bit, except very verbal. I had I had better verbal skills than Nell,
Well,
but
who
everything
doesn't?
else. Actually, I feel like a lot of guys I've dated are about Nell level.
Well, she's very communicative, even though she doesn't have the words. So yeah,
No.
men don't have that.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, clearly, I think she needs to find something else healthy, whether that's just becoming, into her home or her exercise or doing things with her kid or volunteering. I mean, something.
I stand by volunteering, doing something that's going to fill that hole.
Some healthy fear would be good too. Like some right fear, I mean, really think about it. You're spending your husband's money. You're not happy with your body. Like, how much are you guys fucking? Like some healthy fear.
Another thing is sex. You could become obsessed with.
Yeah. I would just start to worry about whether or not your husband's going to leave you.
It bothers me if you have a lot of money that you're buying cheap crack, though. Like, that is something.
Yeah.
That's like hoarders.
It's sad.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah, because it's not about the stuff. She just wants to buy shit.
She wants to be surrounded
Right.
by stuff.
Yeah.
God bless.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, hon? I don't know. It sounds like you got a lot of shit to work on, and I'm actually really depressed thinking about that. Was like depressing for me to hear. So thank you for that, because no matter what I said about having a spending problem, it definitely is not sad like that. So thanks for that. Let's take another call.
Hey Malls. Hey Christina. So I'm a 28-year-old bisexual woman. I'm Brazilian and I live in a relatively big city in Brazil. And at the ripe old age of 28, I have never had a serious committed relationship. Do you think I should admit this fact and just not mention it at all to casual acquaintances and maybe people I'm, starting to date? Do you think mentioning this makes me sound like there's something really wrong with me, or makes people pity me, or is it just a pretty common millennial journey these days, like not having gotten serious with anyone by your late 20s, early 30s or something? So what's your take on this? Also, just to let you know, I'm average looking, and there's nothing wild and erratic about my personality. I don't know why I haven't gotten serious with anyone. I think I'm really bad at dating. So thanks so much for listening. Love the podcast. Bye-bye.
Does she live in Brazil?
She didn't say that.
She's Brazilian though.
But
We know
she's
this.
clearly Brazilian.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if my 28-year-old casual acquaintance Brazilian friend walked up to me and said, "Hey, I've never been in a relationship," I'd be like, "Cool, why are you telling me that?"
I feel like she's really overthinking this.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's probably
Yes.
the biggest turnoff to potential
Mhm.
mates. Like, people just want to just be your fucking self. Like, tell the truth, first of all. Like, don't lie about
But don't
it.
burden other people with your lack of relationship success.
I honestly,
be the
her
kind-
age doesn't make me think it
No one
matters. I mean, it's
cares.
late 20s. It's hardly like she's in her late 40s or
Yeah.
something like
Right.
that. I mean,
she doesn't have to worry. She doesn't have to freak out. I would just stop treating it like it's this huge fucking deal, and it won't be a big deal. Just be the type of person that attracts relationships.
Think about it this way. If you took your exact scenario and said, like, this is the lead character in my movie, no one would buy that movie because no one cares about it. Like, a 28-year-old bisexual who's never been in a serious relationship is not an interesting plight. It's not a 40-year-old virgin. It's just a 28-year-old bisexual who's never been in a relationship. Boring.
right. And if that's your
No one
lead
cares.
into a relationship,
Yeah.
it's just not very compelling. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine ever saying that to anyone or even thinking it matters. Like, the fact that you're so obsessed with it makes me think, like,
Also, people usually know. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, have you ever met someone who has like no sexual experience and then they've told you that and then you're like, whoa, like I'm so shocked.
I feel
like
she's
it's like
not
no shit
focusing
you've
on
never
the-
fucked.
Yeah, I don't think I think she's focusing on the wrong thing. It's
Yeah.
like not that she hasn't had a relationship, it's that she's clearly so
She's
burdened by the
obsessed
fact that
with
she
it.
hasn't. That is irritating to
Yeah.
possible mates.
It's like people who get to their late 20s and they haven't lost their virginity yet, and it just becomes this huge fucking burden and this huge weight on their shoulders to the fact where it's like now they can't just lose their virginity to anybody. Like they can't just get it over with.
right.
Like it becomes such a huge deal, and that's what this has been like, where she's so obsessed with this.
Well, and I wonder if she's approaching everyone like this has to be a relationship rather than just
Dating.
kind
I
of
feel
dating
like she just
casually.
watches too much Sex in the City and feels like that's how people communicate.
Also,
And it's
how is she
not.
bisexual? Like
How? Like,
She's
how?
but has
attracted
she
to
but
both
has she
sexes.
acted on it in both regards?
Oh,
like,
I
you know what I'm
said-
saying?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she says she's had relations before. She just hasn't had like a long-term relationship.
I guess.
And she
I'm just
feels like,
asking.
do I need to clear this with randoms
Right.
before I like hang
I
out
would
with
not.
them?
that you're gay before
Yeah.
a guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
6-year-olds know their guy. You know,
I have heard.
and only some
I
of
knew
them
I was
have best
bisexual
guys.
when I was 6, probably.
I'm
around
not saying
then.
you can't not know. I'm just curious how she knew. Not that we can follow up questions.
because I knew when I
We
was
could call
6.
her. Do you want? Do you want?
no. I don't want to. I think we know what she'll open.
I think she just needs to stop making it such a big deal.
Yeah.
And enjoy your life. Have fun. Enjoy your life. And if you date someone and you just fuck and that's it and you don't have a relationship with them, just have fun. And you'll find someone, and if you you work on yourself and you heal yourself within, and you will become the type of person that attracts relationships.
One of the greatest dating gifts that I've been given, sorry, is the fact that I really do hate everyone and I don't care about anyone. But they're always really attracted to me because they think that I'm playing hard to get. And it's
Right.
like, no, I'm really not interested. But I feel like that's something you can take a lesson from. When you
Yeah,
seem really
it's true.
desperate and needy, no one wants that.
Right.
Eagerness is really.
I'm not saying play hard to
unattractive.
get,
It is
but actually be
unattractive.
hard to get. Like, you're a valuable and interesting person, and
Yeah.
people should want that. Like,
Right.
I know it's probably easy for me because, like I said, I'm an abused child, so I grew up not needing that.
Yeah.
But it has shown me, like, oh wow, that really works. And
Yeah.
women can like take a lesson from that.
Well, there's this element of it too, which is like, I mean, I don't know, man. I definitely have like met guys where I'm like, oh, I would totally date you. You just like you just want to date me too much, and I'm
Right.
like so grossed out by that.
Yeah. You
Would-
come on too strong.
And then later I obviously am like filled with like some sort of regret because I'm like, what's wrong with someone liking you so much?
Right.
But ultimately, like it is sort of like a warning sign when
Yeah.
someone's like too into you. I mean, it always is.
Because it says more about them than it does about you being a person that's attractive. It
Right.
says about them that they are so desperate for affection and attention.
yeah.
They're treating you more like a way to heal themselves.
Whenever that
You're-
happens, I
yeah.
always think, you don't know who I am. Like, who do you think I am?
Right.
Because I
Yeah,
feel
it's not
like
genuine.
Yeah, it's not genuine for me. Like,
It does, like when it has gotten to a certain point in my life, like with that sort of thing, where I feel so like I need to take a shower because I feel so projected upon, like
Right.
where it's like, I'm not your answer, dude.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like there,
Right.
you might have an answer out there, but it's not me. And whatever version of me you have in your head that is
Right.
the answer is not right. Like it's incorrect. Yeah, I don't know, man. Look, but I think that she is saying that like she wants to like know she should tell her friends. And this is like the thing. It's like almost like disclosing a medical problem. Like it's not anyone's fucking business.
Right.
right.
It's
Right.
really not. It's a big boundary issue that I think has been muddied a lot where like people will just be like, so like how many people have you fucked? And like it'll just be like
Right.
a random
People in
comment.
2017 feel like they need to share everything.
Yeah.
Because of social media.
Exactly.
It's like everyone just feels like you have to
Yeah.
spill everything at once and be so candid. It's like you can keep some mystery about yourself.
I don't talk about sex. That's
I
like
just
my
don't-
rule.
I don't see what it benefits in her situation to tell people. But if they ask, just say the truth. I mean,
Yeah.
If they
If-
ask.
if they
you-
ask, yeah.
And if it's a person you feel like you want to share that with, you're not
Right.
obligated to disclose
no, you're not.
your history to anybody, actually.
But I
So-
feel like there's nothing like it's a big red flag if someone does ask or you
Yeah.
tell someone and you look in a panic about it. It's like, well, I don't want to get involved in
Right.
that. Like,
But like,
It should
so-
just be like a no big deal. Like, you
so
haven't.
what if it
hasn't
comes
worked
up
out.
though, like on a date or something? She's on a date and it comes up like, what's your experience level? I would really downplay the sadness of it as much
Oh
as
God,
possible.
me too.
You know,
Yeah,
just
downplay
been,
the
Just be like, I
sadness.
focused on whatever you're
My
focusing
career.
on.
yeah, like I've
mean,
been really
yeah, I
involved in
haven't met
school
the
or
right
whatever.
person.
Totally.
Make that about
And it's actually a smart thing, in my opinion, that
Yeah.
someone is sort of taking it on seriously and saying, if it's not this, I'm not going to waste time on it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what her reasons are, but like, I find that to be like noble
Well,
because you're
I'm-
not dragging anyone into
Yeah.
your life.
and I'm sure she
whatever.
has really amazing qualities about herself as a human being that she has chosen to focus more on, that
Right.
she can realize that is sometimes more important than having a relationship. A
Other side
romantic
of things
relationship.
too is like, when you say you're unattractive, like that kind of says a lot, and like you need to maybe not talk about yourself like that. That's just like a good
Right.
habit to get in. Like it's a good way to get in the habit of like not feeling like shit about yourself, is to stop
Right.
talking about yourself like you're average or
honestly assessing your like
yeah.
flaws
Do
or
you know what I
something.
mean?
It's
Like
just
that's yeah. Like calling us and saying that you're average looking is like does nothing for you or for us. It doesn't change our
Right.
answer, and it also doesn't. It just shows how you feel about yourself, which like I don't know, man. Maybe you need a haircut or something. But
Well,
like
also focus on your good qualities rather than where you're average or lacking, I would say. Like,
Right.
yeah,
don't
we
know.
never heard
Yeah.
anything about what she's done in these 28
Right.
years besides
I
not
want to
fuck.
hear what she's done
Yeah,
But,
because I bet she's done a lot of cool stuff.
call us
well,
back.
not necessarily.
I mean,
Well,
no,
I'm
honestly,
serious. Like,
no,
it
I
isn't
know.
necessarily true.
No, I know.
Although it's
Some
probably
people-
more than she thinks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Call 323-450-7408. Call us back. Let us know if you've ever done anything interesting in your life. And maybe get a keratin treatment or something that will make you feel better about
those
yourself.
do make me feel better.
You right?
Yeah.
Doesn't
What
it
is
feel
that?
good?
It's like a relaxer, like a hair relaxer.
Oh,
It's just like a deep condition.
got it.
So like it's like, you know,
For
it's like
frizz.
a Brazilian blowout without ruining your hair, except it doesn't last very. It's
Okay.
just like, you know. But I will tell you that I'm so depressed right now, and I actually feeling okay, but I'm so depressed right now that I went to go get my hair cut the other day, and her cutting my hair hurt, so I left.
In the middle of the haircut?
Like I waited till she did the bare minimum, and I was like, I want to go home now. And
Where'd you go?
my girl Doris that I always
Yeah.
go to, she's like a 60-something-year-old French woman.
Hmm.
And I only trust like old school Europeans with beauty stuff. She does my
Yeah.
facials and stuff too.
I want to see Doris.
Me too.
Dude, I'll send you to Doris.
Please.
She's inexpensive too. And also if like you're with, I mean, like she literally told me she was so worried about me because she hadn't seen me in like 3 weeks. She was going to come to my house. Her husband told her to come to my house and just knock on my door. Like she talks
Wow.
about me at home. Like I am a fixture in Doris's life, which is a huge responsibility.
I totally
but
want to see Doris.
yeah, Doris is great. She's French. She is really cute. She's so tiny. I have tangerines in my purse from her tree. Anyway,
So into her.
let's take another call.
Hi, Malls, Christina, and guests, and Wags, and everybody. I have listened to you, Malls, and watched you and followed you since the beginning of time. So anything you say basically is my holy Bible at this point. I always thought I would be coming to you for advice for something that was so superficial or so fucking stupid or like about basically not this. And trigger warning, it's kind of a heavy question, but I want to know so today is like a pretty big day for me. I've worked all night, and in the next couple of hours I'm showing up at the internal affair office at my job, and I'm going to turn in my rapist and report that. It's something that I have dealt with for over a year, and with everything going on in the news, I kind of feel very empowered. So I have all of the proof that I need, screenshots for days. And I kind of think I have to act on it now, and I have to stop wasting time because it's eating me up alive. Mentally, I'm not in a good place. I have two small kids, and I just can't care for them. All I do is sleep, all I do is eat. I've gained like 30 pounds. So, okay, back to my original question. Now that you know all of that, how is it going to feel afterward? I want to know if it gets better. I want to know if I'm going to feel better, or if you or anyone else has any advice about how it's going to feel when I'm done. And I feel so guilty right now. I feel like the monster, because this person's going to lose their job. This person is I mean, it might be on the news because this person is in law enforcement that I work with. So I'm just worried about what other people are going to say. I already don't get along with a lot of my coworkers. I work in a room with no windows, and I'm there 60 hours a week. So, I mean, I'm like, it just, I feel like I'm to blame. So I'm wondering if anybody else out there, I've wanted to like post about this in the group, but obviously I can't put my name out there. But I just want to know if you know how it's gonna feel after. Yeah. So sorry for the heavy question. I mean, if there is a way for me to take this to the group and have other people give their feedback and words of encouragement, I would love that. In the meantime, thank you so much, Smalls. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I wish I would have asked this earlier so that I would have known how it's going to feel before I go into my meeting in 5 hours. But, okay, thanks. Please advise.
Well, I mean, there's no way to say how you're going to feel necessarily, but we can take some guesses. I mean, I'm sure you've already gone through this, but I will tell you that there's something very incredibly underwhelming about the experience of reporting a sexual assault, because right away you're greeted with like a stone face, because it's probably the most serious thing you can bring up in a workplace. And they're going to, you know, in my experience, reporting sexual assault has been very like underwhelming in terms of like, there's no immediate gratification. It immediately goes into some sort of research process. You're asked questions that imply that maybe this didn't happen. That feels like a huge attack. Like, it's right away, it kind of becomes a he said, she said thing, even when you have proof. So I will say that there won't be any probably immediate gratification once you do this. What do you guys think?
You mentioned that you said, what's it going to feel like when this is done? And I don't know if you were referring explicitly to done reporting or done that it was going to be over. Here's the thing. I have been raped multiple times before in my life, and I have been picking up the pieces in some way or another, not to make this sound really bad, but for a decade.
Yeah.
But it does get better. And I will tell you that I have healed. And because I have healed, I have become the type of person that is able, in a unique position, to be able to help other women who have gone through assault and rape and harassment before. And that's the good part about it. And also that there is life after it. There is life after it. And there's a really good life for you out there. And you did do the right thing for you. Obviously, we live in a culture, as I'm sure you're aware of, that treats sexual assault victims pretty badly. And I just want you to know that, you know, you are not a bad person for going forward, even if that's what your head is telling you. And you do not have to feel guilty about this person losing their job. I get that. I get that that's how you feel, because I never reported mine.
Yeah.
For a multitude of reasons. I was not in a position where I felt that I could report my rapist, but I never did. And, you know, of course you're going to feel like that. That's what our culture tells us, is that we have to feel guilty for disrupting this person's life. Well, this person fucking disrupted your life.
Yeah.
You know, you're going through trauma right now. Anyway, it does get better. You will recover, you will heal, and you'll be able to help other women because of this.
One thing that will help, and I will say this because I think it applies, is you could probably get paid from this. And I will say that the one time I like really went after someone, I was in a position where I had the money to pursue that, and with a lawyer. And that was very empowering to like come out on the other side of it with some sort of victory, even though you'll never like, there's no price tag on what that costs, but like to know that you are being not only validated through words, but like actually receiving some sort of check that says you were hurt and like this is a bare minimum of what you are owed. And I think that will definitely apply in this workplace situation. And I think as a single mom or a mom, I don't know if you're single or not, but I think as a mom, I think all of that, I think it will feel very good to be validated in that way, which is like superficial, but it's also can be very meaningful. And I think that that's definitely something that will be an option for you. My question is that whether or not you want to stay at this job, because I know for me, the way that I would feel is even after all of that was resolved, especially if it's someone who is currently a coworker who will not be a coworker, obviously, once this comes out, I would feel uncomfortable being in that workplace every day moving forward. And I feel like you could probably, if it is some sort of government job, they could move you within to something else. Because if it's law enforcement, it's probably some sort of government job and you could move to a different department. Maybe you really love your job and you want to stay there. I don't know. But I will say that I would definitely personally feel probably uncomfortable in that workplace setting. If that's the case, maybe look into options for that, because the other problem with law enforcement is that like these people are really like in the hole together. Do you know what I mean? They really like look out for each other. Like there's it's a sick brotherhood in a way. I mean, we just saw that whole thing in Baltimore where a guy who was supposed to testify against 5 cops who I think beat someone or something terrible. He wound up shot with his own gun.
Right.
So because he was going to snitch on other officers. So like I will say that like law enforcement in particular seems like a really toxic environment in terms of like loyalty or whatever, and
protecting each other.
Yeah, and if you feel like you want to get out of there, that's a very okay feeling and probably something you should do. But I'm really sorry that you're fucking dealing with this, dude, and I'm really proud of you for reporting it. I mean, as I do always say, just like Rachel just said, I mean, I don't recommend in life, like typically reporting a rape. It's like nothing comes of it. It's like the most traumatic experience. You have to, thankfully, this is a workplace situation. But when it's like just a, on the street sort of thing, like some sort of like party thing or whatever, it's really, really hard to get any results at all. And it's a lot of trauma for you. So,
well, I think that it's hard to say because she's clearly already done this.
Yeah.
But I did report, but when I was a child.
Yeah.
And I feel like ultimately the goal needs to be, I need to let the world know this is what happened to me. Mm-hmm. You need to go into it and come out of it feeling sure in yourself and what happened to you, and that you had the right to say this to people. Whether or not they believe you is not really it. Like, it'll hurt when they don't believe you, because how could it not? And that happened to me with my grandmother who like basically denied my truth or whatever to my face. So I feel like you have to just do it for yourself, not care what anyone thinks, and just walk away with it knowing that you did what you thought was the right thing to do. Don't fucking care about him or his career or life, like, or ruining someone's reputation. Like,
No.
I mean, I just feel like it has to be for you. Like, I mean, I think it's great if you can get some money or a better job or move positions. But ultimately, I think telling has to be, I'm not getting anything for this. This is what I need to do to move forward with my life.
Because this is not okay, what happened to me.
Right. And I feel like if you can get justice, whether that's in the form of monetary or criminal justice, that's amazing. But it should ultimately just be about what you need to do, I think.
Christina, when did this call come in? A while ago?
Yeah, like a month ago.
Okay, so this came in like a month ago, I guess, which means that probably a lot has happened, and we would really love an update from you because, I'm sorry we didn't get to this sooner, because obviously you're probably seeking some sort of you need to hear from us. So I apologize that it took us a while to get around to this, but we would love to hear an update from you about kind of what happened and where you're at and how you're feeling. And thanks for calling us and trusting us with this kind of call. You know, I wish I could give I had a better answer, but I think that between the three of us, we might have put something together for you. Yeah, let's take another call.
Hi, Malls, Christina, and guest. My name is Tori. I'm 21. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I've been living here for about 6 or 7 months, and I found a boyfriend who's pretty great, and he has some cool friends, but I'm having some issues making friends myself that are my own friends separate from him. I'm a student, and I don't really have many friends on campus, and I'm really unsure how to make friends as an adult. It would be really nice to have some girlfriends. I'm just not sure what to do. My anxiety prevents me from doing a lot of stuff. I'm working on it. If you have any advice, I would love to hear it. Please advise.
You sound like a frown. Like, I don't know if you know that, but like literally you are the voice of like, if they redo the Emoji Movie, like I hope they cast you as the frowny face because your voice literally embodies a frown. Like, I just don't know if you know that. You might want to put another inflection on your voice in general, just to say like, you know, hey, I'm not here to ruin the party. Like, it's very Debbie Downer.
Very
like I
Debbie
feel
Downer.
like a quiet moment comes over the party and she decides to tell everyone she had an abortion 3 summers ago. Like, it's just like,
well, that might actually be more exciting.
you know, well then we're like, you know, there's something to talk about, but it just seems like you're going to bring up bad news. And I just, and I want to throw out there that that's a big turnoff to a lot of people, believe it or not.
It was pretty like dour, like the whole everything went down. Every phrase kind of took a downward turn, and it's like I kept waiting for it to get sadder.
Yeah,
it was sad.
Yeah,
it was
like,
sad.
I kind of was like, where is this going?
I was waiting for the moment where she said, "I have a hard time making friends because blank."
Right, and then to just, and we were also kind of like amazed that you have a boyfriend before you have a friend.
My guess is you have a hot body.
It's possible, or it's easier to get a man to like you for various reasons. It's like
some guys just like sad girls too,
right? Because they think
the
sex
fetish
will be better.
Yeah,
it's not true.
Is it because of the sex?
I have heard people say that they think certain types of girls will be more unhinged during sex.
To me, it just seems like that's like he wants to fix you, or like a broken bird
that's
syndrome.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
But
I feel like there's a fine line between broken bird and just fucking shoot the bird. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you want to have some kind of hope with a broken bird. Like, oh, I'm going to fix this wing.
Not just like take a tire iron and put it out of its misery.
Yeah. I don't know if you do that with birds or just horses, but like,
I would use a tire. I don't own a tire iron. I would drive to Home Depot, come back, and kill the bird with the. No. But continue. Why is my stepdad
I think she needs to watch the Debbie Downer sketch from SNL from like 15 years ago with Rachel Dratch and be like, if that's you, identify if that's you.
That is what she sounds like, is Debbie Downer.
I think she sounds like that, but at least Debbie Downer had some interesting Downer news to present. Like, I didn't see anything like, oh, that's good.
I'm not getting anything from you.
Right. I feel like you're not only seem sort of down,
but boring.
So it's like, get some interest. Like, you're in Cincinnati. You need to work. I don't know if you need to work. I mean, you could be you maybe in LA you'd fail, but you could be a Cincinnati 10 interesting wise, probably. That would be very easy, right? Like,
that's achievable.
Find some like weird club or group to get into in Cincinnati. Some like weird thing that's just you and just your own, has nothing to do with school, has nothing to do with your boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like something that's just what's your interest? Like, is there a fucking D&D club in Cincinnati?
Right. In a way, having a boyfriend and being with all of his friends could be limiting you from developing a personality. Like if you're just kind of latching onto his scene and what their interests are.
Yeah, what are you
that's
into?
Sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, I also think that, like, look, for the purposes of calling here or whatever, And it was important you mentioned your anxiety, but I think there was a collective eye roll at the table because
we all have anxiety.
We literally all have anxiety, and all of us are introverts that act like extroverts, and all of us are all of these things. We're all of these things.
Right.
But, it's to varying degrees. And I understand like your need to want to explain that to us just for the context of the call. But like, I would really do your best to learn how to be autonomous. Like autonomy is a gigantic skill to have in life. You need to learn how to have it. You need to learn how to just be by yourself. And it sounds like you don't really know how to do that.
Right.
So there's that.
It is key.
That's something to work on. But then the times that you are not by yourself and totally happy and comfortable being alone, just don't bring up stuff like your anxiety until you really get to know someone. Like don't keep putting yourself in situations where you're going to be an anxious mess. Anything that like, I always say, if anything that brings up a feeling of dread before you do it, don't do it.
Right.
Like, don't go to a party with your boyfriend if you know that you're going to sit there and be completely weirded out the whole time. Like, that's weird that ruins everyone's night.
Well, it's true about, it's like the first impression thing. You don't want to start labeling you're better off not going than going and making a really bad impression. Like, oh, here's his irritating Debbie Downer girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be that.
But I think that, you're probably not, what's her name? Tori?
Tori.
Yeah, I don't think Tori's like a bad person. I
No,
think
no,
Tori,
no,
you just
no.
need to like, you're boring.
She's also young. She's 21.
She's young.
So.
Oh, she's 21?
Right.
Oh, girl, I'm sorry. No. Mm-mm. That actually makes it worse for me.
It does?
You're too young to be this.
Anxious.
Not anxious, just like, hey, it's Tori. I have no friends. Like, you're 21. Like first of all, she probably is hot if she's 21.
Right. Also, how old is
Harness that, baby. Like,
She should take acid or mushrooms.
I agree.
And this is coming from a sober person. If you like don't have a problem with drugs or something, like consider like going to the
Loosen up,
forest.
right.
Not even just loosen up, but like going to the like forest or whatever if they have that in Cincinnati and like take some mind altering substances.
Yeah.
And like have a spiritual experience with yourself.
And just realize, like, because the main spiritual experience that has come from those sort of things for me has been that, like, nothing is as bad as I think it is. I'm fine. It will always be fine because it always has been fine.
Right.
And NBD, like, and that's all you really like need to know. You're gonna be fine. Just stop overthinking it. It seems like you're really overthinking it too.
And I think we said this before with a dating thing. It's like if you go into a situation desperate for approval and validation, no one fucking wants to deal with that. They want to have fun too.
Well,
so
let's
like,
do a
just
test.
have fun.
Let's do a test. If you're in Cincinnati and you want to hang out with Tori, call 323-450-7408 and we'll set you guys up. Tori, if you're fine with that. Don't want you to be anxious about it. But I'm sure there has to be someone in Cincinnati who's dying to be friends with Tori based on that call.
Who knows where to get acid in Cincinnati?
I'm being sarcastic. I don't think anyone based on that call would want to be her friend. And that's kind of the message that I want to put out there, which is like...
Because I don't hear any phones ringing. I'm just kidding.
Our number is not blowing up right now. So this isn't live either.
I know.
But I do want you to know, girl, that like I wouldn't want to be your friend based off that call. So maybe... God, I'm being kind of mean today, huh? This is mean for me, right, Christina? I'm being on the mean side? A little on the mean side. That's okay.
Sometimes you get in that mood.
I darkened my hair like 2 shades, okay? Like, this is who I am now.
Or I feel like...
The old Molly is dead, okay? My hair's a little bit darker. You darkened your hair, too.
I went like to
brunette.
Extreme. I haven't been brunette since I was 13 years old.
Maybe Tori should darken her hair and take on a new persona.
Or lighten it. Do something.
Yeah.
Like Sasha Fierce. Right?
Pierce your nipples this weekend.
Exactly. Get a conversation piece going.
Yeah,
you need
that's a
something.
conversation.
Listen, whip your nipple
no
ring
bra
out.
and nipple rings
next
on
party.
campus.
If some girl, depending, if she was like sober, maybe I would want to talk to the girl who was just like whipped out her nipple ring.
Right.
At the
And
party.
you're like, you say something like, hey, here's an icebreaker.
Right. Here's
It's
an
my
icebreaker.
rock hard nipples. There's a barbell through them.
Right.
Okay.
And it would have to come with a funny joke. Because if she just whipped her nipple out, I'd be like, who's this irritating person?
Honestly, for the next week, I'm going to think about puns that she can use.
I like that. Here's an icebreaker.
dying. Christina's dying.
I really like the icebreaker
Yeah,
one.
because it's kind of like,
Yeah, here's my rock hard nipple.
Yeah.
with a
And you
barbell.
can hit it.
Yeah.
Hit a ice cube with
You
the
could take
hammer.
a cocktail swizzle
Tweak
stick
it.
and ding,
Right.
ding, ding. I have something to say.
Yeah.
I have something to say.
Announcement.
Christina's dead.
Christina's
Ding, 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 ding. I'd like to make a toast. Then everyone will be like, who is that guy's girlfriend? She is fucking incredible.
I think this is really good. I would want to be friends with that person.
Ursula Upper.
I think we just solved your problem.
Okay.
I kinda wanna
we got
copy
it. We got
this.
to it finally.
Yeah.
Do they snag? If you have like a nipple ring, does it snag on things?
I have a belly button ring. It doesn't snag.
I used to have a belly button ring. I think I was always afraid of wearing a sweater, that it would snag on a sweater.
Mine doesn't.
That is making me almost faint. That's
We're also really hungry.
true.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, Tori, I think we've solved your problem. Christina has come back. You guys, thank you so much for listening. Is that all for episode 150? You guys, it's episode 150. Please advise. Thank you so much for listening. You guys, where can people find you besides Hollywood Crime Scene, which is so good?
My Twitter account is the Rachel Fisher.
My Twitter account is Desi Jed. And I think that's it. And the
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
And you
the
guys
podcast.
got to listen to the pod. It's really good.
Yeah.
If you're into true crime stuff. But I love, Hollywood's such an interesting niche. You guys did I know you do still have to donate to your Patreon to get the extra episodes. How much is that, by the way, to get your extra episodes?
$5.
I've got $5.
They're extra filthy. You'll like them.
Yeah.
They did a episode about the famous, is it, what's his face? The one with the slutty daughter, Kimberly Stewart, Richard.
Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart. Yeah.
The slutty daughter.
Did you like
That's
my
what he's
Kim
most
Stewart?
famous for.
The
He has a slutty daughter
Well,
and a gravelly voice.
he looks like a porcupine, has a
Yeah.
slutty daughter. You know what I'm talking about. No, but Maggie May literally is the most upsetting. So I have a childhood memory of my mom crying to it in the car because she just found out that her boyfriend had a wife. And
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's
And
an amazing
I-
scene.
And I to this day, if it comes on, I get a little bit emotional. I get very offended by people's affection for that song. 'Cause I'm like, what's wrong with you? This whole song is sick. This
Yeah.
is not a good song.
It's not.
No,
That's how I feel about "Don't Stand So Close to Me" by the Police. Because
a little heavy-handed.
My mom had something too in a car, and it was
With that
very
song?
sunny. Yeah.
Oh no.
Whenever I hear it, I mean, it's also kind of
Yeah.
molesty, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
molesty.
It's about a teacher and a student hooking up.
Whatever. So
It was the 80s. Anyway, you
Things
guys.
were
Oh,
different.
but Richard,
the Rod
what's
Stewart.
his name? Rod Stewart. I was like, Richard Simmons has a stomach full of cum. What's his name? Rod
Well,
Stewart.
that's also true.
That's debatable.
How many Weight Watchers points?
Sweating to the oldies.
Sorry. Yeah, the Rod Stewart cum episode.
Yeah, which I actually didn't know that story. So
Really?
Oh my
I don't
God.
think so. I know a lot of the greatest hits, but
Right,
I don't
right.
know that. I didn't know that one.
Wow. So it's
Yeah.
educational.
It was.
Yeah,
podcast as
it is an
well.
educational
Have you
show.
done the hamster episode?
Yes, we did.
That's
You
on our
did that?
bonus. That's available on our Patreon. We got to the bottom of where it originated. Too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tee that up? Christine's looking confused. Famous actor put a hamster in his ass.
It was a gerbil.
Excuse me. He put
The
a.
fake story is that it was a gerbil.
It wasn't
I will
true.
fact check.
It's
a fake
not real.
story. Well,
Come
I
on.
mean,
I think it's real.
It was the 80s.
Yeah.
a lot of things happen.
A lot of things happened in the 80s. You and I are going to go to a casino soon.
Yes.
Maybe to see Rod Stewart. He probably is playing
Um,
at a casino.
I think that absolutely must happen.
But I'm not staying during Maggie May.
Oh, fuck
That's
that.
when I get up and get
She'll
a
be in
drink.
fetal position.
I think that's a really good
Casino
idea.
Morongo.
Yeah, we'll go to Morongo
Yeah.
or Pachanga
Yeah.
or Kachuma.
I love Fantasy
I'll
Springs.
go, but I'll
I
just
do
drink.
too. Fine.
We went to Fantasy Springs and the lineup was out of control. It was garbage. Alanis
Oh
Morissette,
my God.
Boston. They have.
Wow.
I was like, if I just move out here for the summer, this is like an extended Coachella. I could totally
Dude,
get behind.
That's my Coachella.
That's my
I
Coachella
know.
is going to a casino and seeing total has-beens, except garbage is timeless.
Well, yeah.
Alanis
is
Morissette,
timeless,
yeah.
But Boston.
All that for
Boston, but usually at casinos it's you know, you're going to see Keith Sweat, but I want to see Keith Sweat.
I'll see Keith Sweat.
That's the thing is like, I want to see all these like quote unquote has-beens.
She had a baby by Keith Sweat. What is that from? It's from a show. She had a baby by Keith Sweat.
That's a lyric.
No, it was a woman on. It was either a woman on YouTube or it was a woman on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh,
and like instead of saying she had a baby with Keith Sweat, she said it was like it was like a book that he wrote. Yeah, and
he
I
dropped
was
his new single,
like,
"Baby in Her."
A baby in her.
She had a baby by Keith Sweat. All right, Wags, I'm sorry. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Bye.